Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I'll be playing some F1 23. As I'm a massive F1 fan, I've really been looking forward to this one. Just going to quickly go through the in-game settings. Playing at a resolution of 3840 by 2160 at 120 Hz, 16 times anisotropic filtering and TAA. Game does of course support ELSS and frame generation and dynamic resolution scaling, but I'm not using any of those as I want to play at native 4K. In terms of settings, there used to be ultra high setting in F1 22, but they've changed that now to high as the maximum. But the game does support ray trace shadows, reflections, ambient occlusion, transparent reflections, and DGGI, which is diffuse global illumination. So it's very, very heavy on the ray tracing in this game. As you can see, everything is maxed out. However, I've disabled variable rate shading, as this does reduce quality in spots. It's not noticeable most of the time, but I'd rather keep it off just to have the maximum visual quality. Now the game, the first time I've seen NVIDIA shader execution reordering. This is meant to improve shader performance, but how much that affects performance, I'll have to test that on and off. But those are the in-game settings I'm using. Interesting to note as well that audio actually has its own setting. So ultra high will use more CPU, so just bear that in mind, because it doesn't default to ultra high, it starts at high, so you have to enable that yourself. So anyway, I'm not going to do any special breaking point story mode or anything like that, or career. So I'm going to jump straight into F1 World and get straight into just a normal race. So I'm just going to go over to Grand Prix. And what I'll do is, I'll do an F1 2023 race, and I'll race at one of my favorite tracks, which is Spa. And I'll be using my favorite car and favorite driver, Lewis Hamilton. And in terms of difficulty, I've got it set at the AI to 50, just slap bang in the middle. I'll increase it once I get a bit more confident with this game. I'm using my PS5 DualSense pad. It does actually support haptic feedback as well. And I'm not using a wheel for those who are interested in. In terms of simulation settings, realistic tyre surface, car damage at standard, and there are collisions. That's pretty much it. For the difficulty, I've already shown it's 50, but for the assists, not using any steering assist, braking assist, or anti-lock brakes. The only thing that I will be using is traction control and automatic gears. In terms of weather, I just want a nice clear day, no threats of rain, as I don't want to be dealing with any pit stops in a 5-lap race. So let's get straight into it.
What a race we have in store for us today, with a competitive field ready to do battle once again. Hold on to the edge of your seat, it's time for another Formula One Grand Prix. So with Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So Lewis Hamilton qualified first, so I should have every opportunity to try and win this race. But being first and staying first are two different things. So let's get straight into it. Try and get a good start. Race down to turn one. Just want to get through this lap without damaging my car. That's the aim. And a great start. See if I can pull away from these guys now. The cars just feel so much lighter in this game compared to F1 22. And they've done a lot of work to make the experience with our gamepad a lot more accessible and a lot easier, as it was very, very twitchy on number 22. So I can already tell it feels a lot better in terms of sensitivity. I'm already getting pressured by what I believe is probably Max Verstappen. I'm not too sure if he qualified second. He's all having a good scrap with Alonso behind me. But graphically, you can see the game looks better as well. There's a lot better reflections on the car's surface. Just getting used to the feel of the car. I'm surprised how light it feels, honestly. I'm going to start being a little bit more adventurous in the next lap. Because I know I've taken this lap very, very cautiously. Just getting the feel for it. And the engine sounds amazing as well. Probably slow down a little bit too early there. Okay, slammed into a Red Bull, but didn't take any damage, so everything's okay. Brakes are not the best on the Mercedes. I tried to brake just before the 50-meter board,
Battery charge is high. Let's
and
use that overtake button a bit more.
it didn't slow down in time, so I need to take that into account. Brakes maybe not as good as I thought. Just listening to the car when it's at the high revs, the sound's amazing. Try and remain within track limits, don't want to be getting any black and white flags. Trying to hold this lead is going to be pretty difficult. A little bit too much curve there. Lost a bit of time. A Red Bull's just hunting me down. Okay. Trying to get a real feel for the car now. DRS will be open the next lap, so I better try and stay out of that DRS window. Now that Red Bull will sail past me. Okay, doing well so far. Let's talk about performance.
DRS now available.
Performance is, you can already tell this game is super demanding at native 4K with ray tracing. This is an RTX 4090, pretty much the best card available at the moment. And I've got it overclocked and it's still struggling to hold over 60 FPS. So this and probably the 7900 XTX and RTX 4080, depending on how much ray tracing you want to do, we should still be able to do 4K 60, but it's going to be pretty close. Because the ray tracing is extremely heavy on this game. Yeah, the feel of the car through a pad is so much better. You do have haptic feedback as well with the DualSense pad. So sometimes when you go on the brake, it's very stiff, and it's a great feeling. Seems to stay out of Verstappen's DRS zone. Took that corner a little bit too slow. Yeah, that Red Bull's, I'm not pulling away from it, I'm literally just staying ahead of it. Gotta get this right or I'll lose a lot of time. This is where Red Bull seems to catch me the most, at this last turning. Yeah, it was right on my gearbox there. But this year, you can see the Mercedes is not as bad as last year. It's kind of coming into its own with its recent upgrades. So I would say it's the third best car at the moment. Jury's still out if they're better than the Aston Martin. Fernando Alonso has been doing a great job. But they're definitely faster than Ferrari. Because they've got their own issues. Most of their issues is not even with the car, it's just decision making and tyre strategies and things like that. It's kind of wild over there at Ferrari at the moment. But it is a fast car still. I just think with better management, they could probably get more points out of that team. Okay, that Red Bull's creeping up on me now. I didn't take that corner that great. Just about held him off. Got some great grip though, this car. Need to push the pace a little bit. You can start to feel the tyres going off now. Because these are softs. I know it's only 5 laps, but I'm sure they'd speed up the tyre wear as well to simulate race length. Just need to stay out over 1 second ahead of it. And I should be okay. And the i9 3900K not doing much in this game. With all the ray tracing and how heavy this game is, it's pretty much just taking a break. And it's such a GPU bound scenario that I don't think anyone's really going to need too much of a beefy CPU.
Push, push. Gap to your teammate behind is 1.7 seconds.
Okay, so George Russell is either second or third. His 1 point, actually no, he's fourth because I can see an Aston Martin just behind the Mercedes, just behind the Red Bull. But he's still within 2 seconds of me, so everyone's pretty close up. I've broken the DRS though from Verstappen. See if I can bring it home. Okay, I done that corner okay this time. But it took a little bit too much curve there. I remember the W11 can do this flat out, but with the W14 you have to be a little bit more conservative. You do have to kind of lift or slightly tap the brake just to make that corner. So it just shows you how much faster the older cars were. These cars are a lot more heavier, they're a lot bigger, so it makes sense. Oh, almost lost it there at the end. Oh man, this is not good. Gotta try and take back that lead. I've got full overtake button on at the moment. Just about got the lead back. Power home to the finish now. Just about kept the win.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
I'm happy with that. My first race driver of the day is George Russell. Must have made up a lot of places.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here at Spa-Francorchamps, but they've done so in spectacular style. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result?
All the frame stuttering
Well, they certainly stood
in the
out as a drive
close-ups.
with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic
Even
parts of
dropping
the
below
race,
60 here because it's so
capitalise on the
heavy.
mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Okay, George Russell must have got fourth. Interesting how he still got driver of the day. But yeah, this game's extremely demanding at 84K. I would recommend probably dropping ray tracing to medium. And that should give you back a lot of performance if you want to play it native. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.
Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, I certainly didn't have any complaints with Kevin Magnussen's performance today. Incredible driving.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.